grandpa told my grandma, I don't think I'm going to make it. And he would never scare her and say such a thing, but only if he had a real feeling. And this brings proof to the words of the Zohar that 30 days before, a person knows that they're going to pass away. And he also told my mother and my aunt, if anything happens, I love you. You wouldn't say that to scare them if you didn't really know. Now I would like to share lessons of my grandfather. I would like to share with you the emunah my grandpa had. He would tell me this story with great excitement and real emunah. He was in the highlands a long time ago with my mother, my aunt, and my grandma in the car. They were young little girls in the back seat, and they were in the highlands. There was a stormy, rainy storm flood that was flooding the car, and the water was rising, and the car would not start. He tried to start it, it would not start. Again and repeatedly, it would not start. He said, girls, the water was filling up, and he said, girls, say Shema. And they said Shema, and he started the car again, and he said, with extra power, the car started, and he came out of the water gradually. What a miracle. He said the story with great emunah. So we see his emunah in Hashem, and he would always tell me the story also with great emunah. His aunt, when he was around 18, was very ill. She was going to pass away, and he went with his uncle Al to our Chief Rabbi Chacham Yaakov Kassin's house, Chief Rabbi Jacob Kassin, and he went with his uncle Al to Chacham Yaakov, and he said, my aunt, this is the story, the rabbi goes in his accent, he always imitated him in his accent, you have handkerchief? So my grandma said, they said no. He goes, okay, I provide. He ran upstairs, Chief Rabbi brought down a handkerchief, and he did a special sigula. He tied 4 corners on each of the corners of the handkerchief, and he said certain pisukim, and he gave it to my uncle, to my grandpa's uncle Al, and he said, put this on her head, and say this and this and this. They put it on her head, and she lived another, maybe through the year, I think he said, another few months through the year. It's a true miracle, and he really said the story with great emunah. So we see the emunah in Hashem and his emunah in Chachamim. Even though he had a rough life, with his family passing away at a young age, his sister, and he still knew Chachamim or Emet. Another lesson was his desire to learn and his interest. Recently, before all of the hospital and car accident, he told me, when I came home one night, he would sit down. I'm making a new rule in this house. Every day you come home, you're going to come and tell me a new thing that you learned. And if I came and told him the new thing, he wouldn't just listen and say, okay, like regular people would say, oh, okay, good, you know. He would ask about it. If I didn't say it clearly, he would say, whoa, hold on, say it, go back, say it again, explain it to me. He wouldn't let me just lie. He wanted to know. He sees interest in Torah. He would always bring up things that he learned. He used to learn with the rabbis, R Schweky, Rabbi Diamond's old Kulil, and Wikapeko. He would learn with Rabbi Dweck. And he would always share with me deep concepts. He would test me on the things that he learned, either whether in Kabbalah or Halakha. He always liked to talk about Kabbalah. Now I would like to end with this attribute of Ezra. Ezra comes from the word Ozer, which means to help. We all know, everybody spoke about how he would help everyone, giving people jobs, paying. He would go to the restaurant, like my uncle said, he wouldn't eat, he would sit down and watch and make sure everyone was fed properly. Whenever he found out that I was collecting in shul, if I was finding hard time going around with the bucket for tzedakah, or if I was collecting tzedakah for a fund or something, or selling raffle tickets, when he found out, he said, wow, my grandson's involved in tzedakah. That's what made him happy. It gave him real nahat and pleasure to know that. He loved to see that his grandson was helping others. That's what made him happy. Another story of how he gave was when I was in kindergarten. In kindergarten, he said, your birthday this year, I'm going to give you 10 bennies. 10 Benjamin Franklin $100 bills. So the whole year I was asking, okay, well, tell me about it. When are they coming? When are they coming? What's your birthday? Wait. I was always asking about the 10 bennies. It was my dream come true. So the day came, it was my birthday. First he gave me a card. Also know he wrote on black cards with his silver pens. Everyone knows his stories. That's what you like. Black and silver markers. So he took out a bag that you put jewelry in a pouch and he gave it to me. And it was 10 pennies. I said, what? 10 pennies? What happened to my 10 pennies? He joked me. And then he took out 10 pennies and he gave me the 10 pennies for my birthday. Now, for the biggest thing that he could have done, probably is the biggest thing he did for me. I remember I think it was Wednesday night, Rabbi Malka would give classes in Deal Shul. I was in 2nd or 3rd grade. My mom would take me to the classes. I think it was Chavot Alevavot. And we were walking in. I was holding on to my grandpa with his long black coats, holding on to him in the cold night, walking in with Rabbi Malka to Deal Shul. We went through the side door and he said, Rabbi, you need to give my grandson time to teach him. At least once a week, give him your time, teach my grandson. Rabbi said, I'm busy, rabbis are busy, they don't have time, you know. Grandpa said, I don't care, you need to give him time to teach him. And sure enough, my grandpa sent me Sunday nights to the kollel. I would get dressed in black pants, white shirt. I would come to the kollel, and when I was Rabbi Malki, he would taught me Navi. My grandpa set up for me, and that was maybe one of the biggest things he done for me, to get me to learn and go to kollel. Even in the school year on a Sunday night when I'm off, he made me go. And he would give me an envelope to give to the rabbi. And I tried to give to the rabbi wouldn't take it. So I came back home, Grandpa, he wouldn't take it. He said, what is this? He called up Rabbi Malka or spoke to Rabbi Malka, you must take it, I insist, you must. No questions, you're taking it. He made sure he could take it. He would give the rabbi. You see, he would love to give to support Torah and mitzvot. And Ma'asim Tovim. I really appreciate you did that for me, and I'm sure Hashem appreciates that too. Now I would like to leave off with the Torah, with the lesson of giving tzedakah from his teacher, Chief Rabbi Chacham Yaakov Kassin. It's written in his books. I'm sure my grandpa would appreciate this, to hear this Torah. To explain the concept of tzedakah very well, there is a mashal. There are 5 birds on a roof, and the hunter comes and he shoots 2 birds. How many birds are left? Someone tell me, if you have 5 birds on the roof, shoot 2, how many are left?
0.
Someone would say, there's 3. Shoot 2, there's 3 left. It's not 3. When you shoot 2, 3 fly away. You're left with the 2 dead birds. This is the story of money in life. A person thinks it's live money that he can pay things with, he can buy things, he can invest. He thinks that's the live money, the live birds, he thinks it's his. But those birds could fly away. That money could grow wings and fly away, God forbid. Money goes from one person to the next, and that's why the Gemara says coins are round, because they roll from one person to the next. And money in Hebrew, a certain word is called zuz. Zuz means to move. Money moves, it could fly away. So the live money is not yours forever. The dead birds that stay, that you could take. The money that you think you killed by giving away, the money you think you did by giving it, you think you killed it. You think it's dead money, that's the only money. Those dead birds, that dead money, that's the money you take. That's the money that's left for Olam Haba forever. My grandpa understood that. Giving to rabbis, always giving tzedakah, like I mentioned in the Levaya, how he would give me rolls of money to give to rabbis in Israel. Always give, make sure everyone has what they need. I never saw such generosity. It's amazing. This was my grandpa, Ezra Be Mazal. Amen. I would like to thank everyone who did everything, setting up the food in the house, and Alice, and Sharon, Joyce, Rennie, everyone who did it. Thank you for setting up 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning, Sunday night. Charlie and Auntie Sharon called the Burial Society. 4 in the morning, they were there in my house. Thank you for taking care of that big mitzvah. Thank you, my father, for cleaning the house better than the Chagam and making sure every little sweep was done and for making the signs of the Nishmat Ezra Be Mazal. And thank you for taking upon yourself the responsibility of saying the Kaddish for my grandfather, which is a big thing to take on. Thank you, Uncle Stephen, for setting up this Arayat, beautifully in Park Avenue. And thanks, Grandma, for taking care of my grandpa. Everything the way he wanted it, she made it. She would toast food how he wanted. She would go back and make it exactly how he wanted to toast it. The exact amounts perfectly for all these years. Bringing him, like I said, a setet to the hospital day. Even Ralph said that the drills were filled with snacks. Bringing him thousands of bags every day. I don't know where you're bringing a whole set of bags. You need help carrying all those bags. They were all filled with food. Thanks everyone for coming. Anyone who I didn't mention, please forgive me. Thanks to everyone for coming and attending and giving respect to Ezra Be Mazal. Now we'd like to invite Aged Yindi, who visited my grandpa in the hospital many times.